الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله.
My name is Abdulmalik Bull. I graduated from the Islamic school back in 2001, back in June. I graduated recently from San Diego State University with a degree in sociology, and I work as an employment case manager. I was the first 8th grade graduating class of Islamic school back when we used to wear tight green uniforms. And Alhamdulillah, Islamic school was one of the essential aspects in my life that I can look back into and say, Alhamdulillah, that's the best thing for me.
After Islamic school, I went on to public high school, and then I went on to attend UCSD, majored in human development there and pre-med. Then I went on to medical school at St. George's University, and now I'm a medical resident OBGYN at Kern Medical Center in Bakersfield, California.
In the past 2 years, I entered in the science fair for the county with the Islamic school. I got first place both times, and this year I on 3 different robotics teams, one including the one at the Islamic school and 2 at my school. In one of them, we had a competition last month, and we're going to the internationals. We won first place out of United States.
Something that I developed through the Islamic school was my creativity. I've always really had a passion for books, especially after being introduced to reading in my kindergarten class year. And in 5th and 6th grade, we read books like Where the Red Fern Grows, and that was a novel that I still remember to this day. And after going to Islamic school, I really decided that I wanted to be an author and write fiction works.
One of the things with the way I was raised, at least, I feel like my parents always had us in the masjid, whether it was in Islamic school, the Saturday school, or just coming here for the lectures. We always grew up in the masjid, and because of that, I feel like I have a good foundation for myself now as an adult. And one of the things my mom told me actually that I don't remember actually, but she told me that when I was little, I refused to wear my hijab, and I just didn't want to wear it. And so when I came to Islamic school in the 5th grade, and so I stayed there for 3 years, and at some point in there I became a muhajjaba, and I came out of the 7th grade going back to public school as a muhajjaba. And so that's one of the benefits that I feel like I would not have had that had I not come to Islamic school.
I think some of the biggest things or benefits that are fruits of the things that you realize happen after you leave, that at the time it seems like, oh wow, like why are we doing this? It's kind of strict and kind of like weird. But then after you leave, you kind of realize why these things are so important. Like for example, just you realize just some of the things, just like being able to pray every day, like the prayer on time, like in Jama'ah. You realize that just some of the small blessings like that, and that becomes a lot more difficult, like going on as you go on to like your future life and future studies, career, what have you.
When I was at the Islamic school, I formed a really close bond with my teachers. And subhanAllah, when I left, some of my friends who hadn't attended the Islamic school told me, it's going to be a lot different. Your teachers aren't going to care about you, And when I did leave, and I would see what they were talking about. Like the teachers in public school, I'm not saying that they don't care about you, they're just going to leave you by yourself, but the teachers here, they love you. You can see it in everything they do.
I have a few alumni at home, and they've benefited greatly from the classes here at the middle school level, because when they get into high school, the high school level for them has not been as difficult, or the standard here was much higher, so they're able to go above what the teachers in the high school want because they've been trained to do so already. So it's like rote memory for them. They're not satisfied with just doing what's required. They want to do above and beyond. So
the rigor in our curriculum, not only is the curriculum completely competitive, with what's being presented in public schools. But in addition to that, students are learning a second language, Arabic. They're learning religious studies. And so not only are they able to be on par with students in the public school with the core curriculum, but then you add in addition to that religious studies and the study of a second language, and they're just that much far, they're more, that just gives them an added edge.
I think people don't understand the effect of Islamic school on people's lives unless you live it. I lived a life where I left Islamic school at the age of 12, 13, and I was thrown out into public education. I left in June 2001. In September, my first week of school, 9/11 had occurred. So my education in Islamic school helped me sort of understand my identity as a Muslim, and secondly, has given me the tools for the proper education of Islam and disseminating that upon my my peers, whether it be my classmates or my teachers, of what truly Islam was and is.
I mean, learning science and hearing the word mashallah in the middle of the science discussion it's an amazing thing, to be able to relate those things to your spirituality and to God and things like that is huge, and especially from an Islamic perspective.
In all of your classes, you're always being reminded about Islam, and it helps a lot at high school. Now whenever I'll just, like my lunch, I'll just go pray. Nobody doesn't know I'm Muslim. I'm not shy about it. It's normal. So I think that was a good thing. It made me comfortable saying that I'm Muslim, and I don't hide it at all.
It's not like in high school when you graduate, you leave and that's it. Maybe once in a while you have a reunion every 6 years or whatever. These teachers, they keep up with you and they keep talking to you, they keep in contact. SubhanAllah, even now, I don't know what I would do if Miss Hanan, every time she sees me, she says, "How's your Arabic?" Or if I'm speaking in English, she'll be like, "No, say it again in Arabic." Or Miss Arwa, she'll call me and be like, "How are you?" Or I'll stop by her classroom and she just want to check up on you. Or even, I go back to Miss Monica, who the first time I came to the Islamic school, she took my hand and she said, "It's gonna be okay." And I believe her, and I come back to her, and the only thing I can say is thank you. That's all you can say. And if we don't continue this for our children and the future leaders, then they have nothing.
I'm like one of maybe 3 people in the whole hospital that I work at that's Muslim. But I don't really interact with other people because they work in different departments. But I know because of the way I grew up and because of where I was and how I was raised, I don't feel like an outsider or like the only one or different. I know I'm different, but I'm okay with that.
I know oftentimes a lot of parents and a lot of community members and different people we have this sort of negative view on Islamic schools or religious schools in general, because maybe they're not equipping our kids with the best education, or they're not going to become the next Albert Einstein or get the next Nobel laureate, or become the doctors and engineers. But I think what's important to remember is that that's not true. If you look right now, there's plenty of Islamic school alumni just from this school itself that are going on to do great things.
It really helped us to remember that, to never give up and to keep trying and to always persevere. And I've continued that in my life, and all the way up until, getting my master's in Harvard. And so, alhamdulillah, that work ethic has been really drilled into my head, I think, from Islamic school.
It may seem like this is a very small segment of the population that we're trying to support, but it certainly can and will grow like a tree.
And the tree that these fruits are growing from is Islamic school. If you're not nurturing this tree, if you're not giving water to this tree, if you're not providing the resources for this tree, it's not going to be able to produce these fruits. So if you want this tree to be healthy, if you want it to produce the proper fruits, so we can have a better tomorrow, inshallah, you have to respond by assisting the school in whatever it needs.